So Jessica Reid, the young woman who brought charges against Charlemagne in 2018, I believe, is back in the news for a lawsuit that she's bringing to Charlemagne in New York right now for the same thing. But I'm going to let you hear it.
According to court documents viewed by RadarOnline, the alleged victim, Jessica Reid, has filed a federal lawsuit against the radio host in a New York court. Now, this comes by way of Hip Hop DX. As I read, Charlamagne the God is being accused of willfully, unlawfully, and felonishly, shit, I never heard that word, engaged in penile and vaginal intercourse with a 15-year-old female while he was a 22-year-old at the time. Reid did not cooperate with the police investigation after they found her allegedly crying uncontrollably after she attended Charlemagne's birthday party at Short Stay Naval Recreational Center in Charleston, South Carolina in 2001.
Now, some people ask why she didn't cooperate back then, but she could have been traumatized. We never know, but
Now, Charlamagne the God's DNA was also not found after the kick was conducted on Reid. Materials tested from underneath Reid's fingernails were also analyzed and determined to contain nothing of apparent serological evidentiary value. At the time of the initial investigation, Charlamagne pleaded guilty to a low charge of contributing delinquency of a minor after providing her with alcohol. He served 3 years of probation.
So what I'm taking away from this is that the R kit was done and there was no evidence to suggest that it was Charlamagne. There was no DNA. There was also no DNA under the fingernails of the girl to suggest that it was Charlamagne. Now, something has happened to her. We don't know what. We don't know who. But why is a lawsuit being brought against Charlamagne once again when, I mean, they already charged him for the alcohol, buying alcohol for a minor, which, of course, fueled the situation that is what it is. So he had to go through that 3 years probation he spent, I think. And then I'm just asking, though, why now, 4 years later, are we being brought up to sue this man again? Now, it seems like money is the motivation for this, but even in 2018, they said money was not the motivation. They said she just wanted, rights wrong and for justice to be had. But now that it was found that it's not him, why then are we still proceeding to sue this man? And see, I don't want y'all to get mixed up because women love to holler protect black women. That is not what we're trying to get out of doing in this situation. But there should also be some type of protection for black men in these type of situations where, I mean, you clearly are getting charged for something you didn't do. Maybe you were around it or you were guilty for it, yeah. But he clearly was charged for his part in it. Now, did he play more of a part in it? We don't know. But the investigation didn't show that. And so I would ask that black women also have some sympathy for black men, because just because someone says this is what happened doesn't mean that's the chain of events that went down. Y'all all seeing this play out in the case of Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. This was two women that appeared to be arguing, well, everybody was arguing and fighting and this, that, and other, but from testimony, they are saying that the girl shot at Megan multiple times. Tory's DNA was not found on the gun. It was 4 different people's DNA found on the gun. His was not there. But yet you still have women who are still trying to tag him to be the guy that should be guilty for this. And you're going to have the same thing here in the Charlemagne case, whereas he did his did his probation for the alcohol part of it. But because he is the big name in the whole situation, he's going to continue to receive attacks and lawsuits. And listen, no matter whether he wins the lawsuits or not, he's still going to have to pay money. And that's what everybody don't understand. And he's still going to have this lingering over. It's already been lingering over his head. Luckily, it didn't destroy his career. But, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes of this, that, and the other. But listen, when people have allegations, that's why we have the court system to try to figure out whether things are rightful allegations or they're wrong. You do your best with the evidence that you have to try to prove your case or to try to disprove the case against you. And that's the court system that we have to deal with. Do we have a lot of unjust things going on in court? Yes. Do we have a lot of unjust sexual things going on in corporations and this like that of men that are being very overbearing and harassing women? Yes. But that's not to say that you can just pick out a man at any given time and say, oh, he did this to me. Because, see, women don't recognize that you are destroying somebody's career. I already believe you're destroying somebody's life, their whole career, everything they work for. And all I'm saying is, if they are guilty, then they should have to do time and they should have to deal with that persecution. But if they are not, you should not just be able to point somebody out frivolously and say they did this. And that's the problem that we're having with the whole women and men thing, and then protect black women. And, listen, I've always believed that women should endure the same punishment that they're accusing someone of. That if it was to come out to say that she was knowingly lying on someone that did not do something to her, that whatever that man was facing, if he was facing 10 years in jail, then she should be facing that penalty for lying. Now, I'm not saying Jessica Reid is lying. I'm not saying that something wasn't done to her, but I'm saying that through the evidence that they were able to gather, as far as the kit that was done on her and the DNA evidence, it shows Charlemagne not to be there. Did he buy her some drinks? Yes. He did contribute to her getting inebriated at 15 years old, which is, but did he proceed to do something to her? No, he did not. Now, the question remains, who did it? Who did it? And where are they, and why are they not being prosecuted? Why is the energy of this case being pressed to then once again sue Charlemagne rather than to find the people who actually did this to you? And that's my thing. That's why when these things happen, the first thing that pops up in a lot of men's head is this is a money grab, which it is. Because, now listen, do I believe she is owed some money for the trauma she went through? I do. Why not money and justice? I do believe she's owed something for what she went through. But I cannot unequivocally say that she's owed that from Charlemagne, because I don't know that he had anything to do with it. You understand what I'm saying? It'd be something else if he bought the drink and then was like, yeah, get her, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If he pointed somebody, yeah, get her. That then we'd be discussing that would be a whole different thing. But I believe Charlemagne was held guilty to the extent that he should have been. But then I don't know what guilt he should have or part he should have to play as far as saying who did what to her that night. I mean, I think we should be actively trying to find the individuals that wronged her. But, I mean, hey, I guess she figures if she can get some money out of it and maybe the pockets ain't right, then she's going to go after Charlemagne again. But he's going to have to pay. And we're going to see what it's going to equal out to be. Whether he wins or loses, he's going to have to pay. But y'all tell me what y'all think about the whole situation. Is she right? Is she wrong for bringing this back up? Let me know. It's your boy Pete Camp. Get at your boy.